welcome. I know that Ricky is live, so yeah, probably I just saw it right now as I hit go live, and I was looking at my other phone and seeing that Ricky's live. So I don't expect anyone to jump in, but hopefully you guys catch the replay. Big shout out to RFK Tech doing his thing, informing the people of 5G technology. But anyways, yeah. So purpose of this, really, I'm just going live to kill time. Yeah, I got off work like about 2 hours ago, and I'm here at the missus' job, waiting for her to get off. She don't get off for another 3.5 hours, almost almost 4 hours. So yeah, I'm not gonna stream for 4 hours. I don't think I have the battery capacity to stream for 4 hours. So otherwise, I would stream for 4 hours. But I think the heat will eventually get to. It'll eventually get to the phone. So I'll let you guys know if it does. If it does get to the phone, then my bad. That's how it is. But anyways, as the title says, Slack me. And the reason that it says that is because I created a Slack. So link is in the description. Invite link. If you guys want to go in there. And the reason for that is that there's a couple people who want to ask me questions, but I am like gonna be really busy with work. Or like watching a mad sketchy person walk by. But I'm gonna be like mad busy with work. But at work, we're allowed to use Slack. So if someone wanted to ask a question, if somebody just wanted to chit chat, I'm gonna be able to because we use Slack at work. So I'll be active on Slack, and I'll be able to chat it up with people or just answer tech questions that people may have, questions about different carriers like Boost Mobile, Metro, and all that. What up, Gene? How's it going? Um, so yeah, so I made the link available in the description. It's not going to expire. It is being moderated, so I have my mods on there that are watching. But yeah, there's if you click the invite link and join into Slack, and you join on Slack, then I'll place you in the the open chat areas will be open. So general will be open, tech will be open. Of course, my family chat and private chat, those are private. So I won't be bringing anybody else in there except for the people that's already in the Slack channel for that. But for the tech in general, that's wide open. It's pretty much like Discord. If someone wants to know, it's like Discord, except that there's not like a subscription thing for like Nitro or anything like that. You know how like on Discord you got to buy Nitro to be able to do certain things. Like on Slack, it's pretty clear cut and dry, straightforward. I can post videos. The videos could be a little bit longer than what Discord allows, so I can always like do like a video news update on there and such. I know. It's like one of the worst things, right? It's one of the worst things about me. I get it, people. I get it. I totally get it. Like, this motherfucker always makes something new and then asks us to join it. You're right. So I don't really expect anyone to join it, but it is there. It is, and the link is in the description. It is there for people if they want to actually join it. It's it's been a hell of a week. It's been a great week. It's been a hell of a week. It's been fun. You know, for this new job, it's like the first job I've ever worked at where I feel extremely happy about being at work. Like, when you go to work, sometimes you go to work and you see your other coworkers and they're like, oh, they look like zombies. They look upset. They look aggravated. Maybe some days they come to work and they're like super excited. And then some days they come to work and they're just like, fuck this shit, At my job, no, we don't do stuff like that. And so yeah, it's pretty awesome. Where I'm working, I think it's great. And we do all kinds of cool stuff. It's a very laid back environment. It's very chill. Yes, it's call center work, but it's not your traditional call center work. It's very, very different from any call center I've ever worked at. For instance, one of the biggest things is that they They don't gauge in metrics at all. But I'll get more into detail to that at the end of this video. The next thing I wanted to kind of talk about is a big, huge happy birthday to my dad. Today is my dad's birthday. Big shout out to him, and hopefully he celebrated well for his birthday. As I love my dad very much. He's my rock in my life, you know what I mean? He's always someone I can go to talk about, you know, things that's going on with me, and whatnot. He's very supportive of the things that I do. Shout out to the person who dropped the like. I appreciate that. So yeah, big happy birthday to my dad. Oh yeah, that was I think that was like a year and a half ago, I want to say, almost. That was in 2020 that I went to go see him. I want to say it was in 2020. So yeah, I went there to go visit during the time of the pandemic to go see my dad because I was afraid, you know, my dad, um, when COVID was out really high, and you know, like a lot of people were getting really sick. I was worried for my dad, so I wanted to spend as much time as I could with him just in case. And so I took the family on a trip to go visit their grandpa, and um, yeah, we went up to Mount Scott, is what it's called. We went on top of there, and then right after that, we went to go have dinner, and that was after we ate dinner, we went out in the parking lot, and then yeah, me and my brother, and my dad stood side by side, and we took pictures together, and then my second oldest son, myself, my dad, and my brother took a picture. So, but yeah, those are me and my younger brother. You know, the two sons that my dad has. But yeah, I appreciate you liked the photo. I'm glad you liked it. You know, it's a good memory, good keepsake to have. But my dad is awesome. You know, did so many years in the United States Air Force, so he served his country, and he served his country well. Very smart man. Very knowledgeable in mechanics for aircrafts. So he knows his planes. He knows hydraulic systems. He knows electrical systems. Um, yeah, my dad is a very honorable man. I can tell you guys right now, there's not there's not a time ever in my dad's life where he did not care for his kids. You know, like he's always done what he could for his kids. Granted, I never made things easy for my dad. I was a troublemaker, so you know that is what it is. My mom is okay. I am working towards getting her back by the end of this year, so a lot of savings, a lot of that stuff going on now that I gotta do. So, but for the most part, she's okay for the time being. I mean, I know I don't have much time. I don't have much time to left with my mom, so things got to happen this year, and not a year later, you know. We got to make it happen this year. Yeah. My sister and I worked things out. We talked about it. We pretty much so we're waiting until my mom can get her strength to walk. She can't walk, so we're waiting for her to get her strength to walk. So therefore, my sister's actually gonna go get her. I'm going halvesies with her on getting her 2 tickets coming back from Thailand. She's gonna pay for her one-way trip there, and then I'm gonna buy both her ticket and my mom's ticket to come back. But of course, we gotta pay the Thai government the money that my mom owes them for not being able to renew her visa while she's there. She owes quite a bit. So the last thing I want them to do is just to be like, you know, my mom paid in so many years, so they want to jail her. Like, she cannot go to jail. No way. So we're gonna negotiate that and talk with them about it, just to be like, look, we'll pay the outstanding balance that she's supposed to have paid. She's leaving. She's not coming back. So just let her get on the plane, let her get out the country, and you guys will never see her again. And because my mom's not gonna go back, no matter how much my mom wants to see her, you know, her homeland. She's gotten to see it, but we don't want her alone. She does. She does. She doesn't want to be alone. My mom really feels like that you know, this is the year that she's gonna pass, so she doesn't want to be alone. So yeah, I got all those details and stuff worked out. So it's just getting money together, and that's the ultimate reason why I took this job. This job pays way more than what I was making at the other place. Like I said, in the other live stream. Now that I'm not working at that place, I can tell you guys where I was working at. I was working at hey, what's up, Blaze? I was working at PetSmart's home office in their call center. That's what I was doing for work. So I wasn't making the best money, but I was making money. Um, but this job just like pays way more, way more. Um, I'm not gonna say what it is, but I'm only gonna just gonna drop one clue, and that is they are the Amazon of selling cars. Pretty much that's it. That's the only clue I'm gonna give where I'm at, and that's about it. But it's a very good job, and the atmosphere there is like a great workplace. Like I said, I'll get into that a little bit here. Um, if anyone has any questions about the Metro by T-Mobile home internet, that's technically just like T-Mobile's home internet. You can ask away. I can say right now that I've had it nearly 2 months. I think this next week will be 2 months, just about. And it's been doing really good here in my city. But then again, T-Mobile is actually really good in my city. I mean, I know there's people that like T-Mobile. There's people that don't like T-Mobile. I'm not all about that. Let's argue and stuff like that over carriers and stuff like that. Blaze, shh. Blaze, shh. Blaze got it. Yeah, yeah. I work at Carvana. That's the company that I got hired for. That's who I work for. Um, and it's real chill work. The atmosphere I'll get into that a little bit later. Um, unless no one has any questions about the Metro by T-Mobile home internet thing. All I can say it's pretty much like T-Mobile home internet. I know somebody that does have like T-Mobile home internet through T-Mobile and not through Metro, and the difference between them, I haven't found a difference. Like I was thinking like, what if it was going to be the same like how it is between T-Mobile postpaid and Metro by T-Mobile, which is prepaid. I thought there was going to be like a priority difference. There actually is not. There's not a priority difference. So that's as much as I can say on that. Speeds have been great. Gaming, streaming, N41 on it, yes. Yes, the 3 towers that are near where I live all have N41, and then the 4th tower has 71. And they're all within range. So it's yeah, it works pretty damn good. Um, the video game streaming that I've done the past couple times on this channel, and then I have my gaming channel too that I'm like gonna be focusing on for just games, just for fun, just to separate things. Since someone told me separate my shit because it's all cluttered, I'm like, fine, I will do it. But yeah, and I've been streaming on it, and there hasn't been any deprio at all whatsoever. There hasn't been no slowdown or none of that stuff. So I'm pretty good on that. I would say like if you live in my city too, it's definitely a go to replace Cox Internet or CenturyLink. It does way better than Cox Internet and CenturyLink here. Oh, nice. So you got it. So then you pretty much have like probably a similar experience as I do. Um, yeah, it's so much. It's so good because it's only $50 flat, And I know Cox Internet has something like that where it's like $50 a month flat rate for like their prepaid internet. But I mean, the speeds is capped on Cox. I forgot what the hell they call it. But yeah, it's capped on Cox Internet. So at least with this, it's pretty good. Yeah, Metro is also, yeah, that's who I have my home internet from. I have it from Metro. The day that it went live, um, God, what day was it that it went live? I know it was towards the middle, near the end of March. Then like the 3rd week of March, it went live. The very next day after, I went into the Metro store and added it to my account. It was very simple. I did have to pay for the router. I don't know if you had to pay for the router on T-Mobile. I did have to pay for the router, which was fine. It was like $100 that I paid, but I own that router now. It's not like a rental router or anything like that. I own the router. It's mine, so I paid for it, and they added the line onto my account. So now for everything that I have, which is why I'm sticking with Metro, I have 4 phone lines, 1 tablet line, and then the home internet line, and I pay $190 a month for all of that. My bill's about to go up to 220 because I am about to add my son to Metro and bring his line over. Oh yeah, yeah. T-Mobile Home Internet went live in your area 2 months ago. Yeah. Where I'm living at, they've had access there, but I didn't want to go and get it through T-Mobile. Because I'm not converting my lines to T-Mobile postpaid. I'm gonna keep them on prepaid, save some money. I don't mind being on the non-prioritized network and things like that. Um, just because just it works great for me. Metro works great for me here, anyways, even though it's on the lower priority access. So I'm good with it. I'm not gonna yeah. I don't need to go. I don't know. I guess my whole attitude towards like 5G and everything like that has changed. Um, because I'm not craving for super fast internet speeds, if you guys get what I'm saying. Like, it's nice to have, it's great to know that you have that type of capacity to be able to run stuff. But at the same time, too, it's not going to kill me if my speeds is 500 down, 60 up. Where, like Carlos can show me that he gets like 3 gigs on his Verizon. And that's great, you know what I mean? Like, that's some serious speeds. But I'm not going to die without 3 gigs of high speed. It's not going to kill me if I don't have that access. Metro's decent in my area. Verizon's king here. Um, though Metro in Mexico is amazing. I just think it's because T-Mobile and there's partnerships with non-U.S. countries. Non-U.S. countries. There's only one U.S. country. What the hell am I saying? Outside of U.S. Countries. Um, I don't know. It doesn't sound. I'm saying it, but it doesn't sound right in my head. Other countries, T-Mobile's got some deals with them. Have built stuff out there too. So they probably have some really good setups. Um, but yeah, I mean, there are other factors that people got to remember when it comes to network connectivity. It's gonna matter how many people in your town use what carrier. If 85% of the people in your city is using Verizon, well, then Verizon's not going to show its monstrous teeth because 85% of people are on Verizon and they're all using the network at the same time. And so, yeah, you're not going to have, the same type of experience as somebody who's living in a town on Verizon and they're like one of 500 people in that town that have Verizon. They're going to obviously experience it better. Um, and I think because T-Mobile kind of went downhill for the last couple of years, a lot of people left T-Mobile to go to AT&T and Verizon, and I think that's also partial of what plays like a big factor here in the city of why Metro and T-Mobile is doing so great. And I'm totally fine with it. Like I'm great. Like people are going after millimeter wave. Like to me, it's good for me, and this is just my opinion, that people push for people to join Verizon. I think it's a good thing. And they tout about, ultra wideband millimeter wave, not, ultra wideband midband, but ultra wideband millimeter wave. Because everyone's like, oh, 3 gigs, 3 gigs down, 10 gigs down, like, they want that. And I'm like, good, like, go over there. You remember when Sneed 2 years ago used to always tell people like, don't come to Verizon, go to this, because he was enjoying having the Verizon network, work so well for him. I'm in that same mentality. Like, go ahead and go to Verizon and go to AT&T. Like C-band N77 is out in like certain markets. Like, take advantage of that. Like, absolutely take advantage of that. I'm good if people do that because then it's like Metro is alleviated of highway congestion. Verizon is too expensive. It is, but Verizon being expensive, and then you better be getting what you pay for. As I always tell people, if you're going to go to Verizon, make sure Verizon is king in your area. You don't want to get Verizon service and you're in an area where you only get 2 to 3 bars and you have no access to key bands that you need to have great data speeds. Like, you're just going to be aggravated and you're going to be paying up the wazoo. So that's just my little advice to people. It's just like, know what works great in your area. You can always use the prepaid companies to determine what you're going to do. Like, if you get a Cricket line, you know, you get a Metro line, you get what else is there? Um, Verizon prepaid. I say Verizon prepaid, not visible, because visible is a little bit different. Even though it is under the Verizon umbrella, it is different how everything is set up. But you get those three, and you compare them. You compare them to each other to know which is going to give you the most, the better connection, the optimal connection. Which one is going to, give you the most choice selections when it comes to the band signals that is, emanating from the towers in your city, right? Those are going to be, a big determining factor. Like you can have 20 Verizon towers, and if none of them are putting out N77, then you know you're going to have moderate to decent speeds, right? But if you're in a town that's got, you know, let's say 10 Verizon towers, but every one of those has millimeter wave access and has C-band support, you're bound to have a fantastic time. So you gotta know what carrier works good in your area. Like all these wars about T-Mobile sucks or AT&T sucks and Verizon's better or Verizon sucks and T-Mobile's better. Like people just gotta dead that shit already. That shit is just, it makes absolutely no sense. You're going to war with people over a fucking brand. And people have talked about this, fighting for brands. Like, why do we do it? Why are we so compelled to argue about brands? And this is what I'm going to tell people. Like, really, there's no real reason to. Like, you can like T-Mobile, and like people joke about the magenta thongs and all that stuff. And if you want to put those on, fine, go ahead, do you. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, don't let other people's opinions, swayed yours. Exactly. Well said, Blaze. Well said. Yeah, so I just wanted to touch base a little bit with that. As far as the tech stuff, if you guys have tech questions, go ahead and ask them, and I'll answer them in the middle of my spiel here. But yeah, I know. Someone told me I was fucking bragging about my job. Okay, and I'm not gonna put homie on blast, but I'm just gonna say, like, when you find a job that you're happy to go to every day, you hit the fucking jackpot. Right? How many people go to work and they have that zombified look on their face? They have that face, with the fuck off stamped on their forehead. Or they got that face that's just like, you know what? Like, not right now. Let me get 18 cups of coffee and 2 fucking smoke breaks, and then I'll deal with your shit. Like, there are jobs like that, right? Sometimes we don't always get the job that we feel like we belong at. We feel like that we're absolutely happy with. And I am fortunate and lucky enough to have found this company. Yes, Blaze had it right where I work. Um, and it's tremendous. I'll take Sneed's word right there. It's tremendous. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. There's massive growth in the company, and yeah, I am on my way. The fastest person, actually not the fastest, but the fastest way you can promote within the company is 6 months. 6 months from a new hire in, and you can be in a position in a different area. They got multiple different departments that handle specific things. What I handle is fraud. What I handle is verifying documentations to make sure there's no fraud being committed. That's what I do. And it pays good, and the atmosphere is amazing. Everybody has this mentality at work that you have to have pep in your step. You have to be excited. You have to, live it up. You know what I mean? We don't want people coming in with frowns on their faces. Like, we want you energized and hyped. And it really is. It's not bullshit. It really is hype there. It's so hype that I'm just like, wow. Um, the culture is amazing. The principles that they live by, that they want people to live by at the job, are reasonable. All they want you to do is be happy. Hell, this is the first. Okay, so call centers have metrics. Most call centers have metrics that they gauge your performance by. Usually they always mostly consist of average handle time, hold time, your wrap up time or your after call time. See, when I worked with Sprint, we had metrics that we had to go by in order to get our bonuses. One of them was how many cancellations did we have in a month. And it was also a daily thing too, right? Like, if you had to stay at a low percentage in your cancellations. So if you had 2 cancellations, then in order to offset that amount, you would want to take like close to 100 calls to really bring that percentage down for the day. If you wanted to get it down to 10%, then you just literally had to take like 20 calls. Um, and that would knock it down to like 10%. I think 10% is like already considered high at Sprint for cancellations. Um, but like average handle time, how long it takes you to be on the call per customer. Sprint had it where if you gone over 15 minutes for a customer, um, then yeah, you were performing bad. So if you ever wondered why you called Sprint and somebody like just like try to rush you off the fucking phone, that's why. They're looking at their average handle time. Because if they were to really try to provide you customer service and actually care about the issues that you're going through, and they stayed on the phone with you for like an hour, they would get wrote up or they would get fired. So they had to keep their call times down. This is why I always believe that these metrics that call centers use is bullshit. You can't have customer service if it's timed. If I'm only allowed 15 minutes to resolve your problem, then how the fuck am I resolving your problem, right? Yo, what's up? Hey, Nian Dang, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you for being here. And I will tell my dad you said happy birthday. Isaac, what's up? Thanks for joining in. But like, yeah, how could you provide customer service to somebody in 15 minutes? Somebody's phone could literally be like soft bricked because they were fucking around with it and trying to flash a custom ROM and messed up. And you may know how to fix that, but you're not allowed to. You can't even guide them. You can't even tell them like, look, go to xda.com and they got a whole article on how to fix your phone. You can't even do that. Like, you're handcuffed. How are you customer service if you're handcuffed? And that's why I say like this job is so phenomenal. And I've been bragging about it on different social platforms I'm on. I go live on Instagram. I talk about it. I talk about how happy I am. I've done it on Facebook. I'm doing it here right now. Blaze is the winner of everything because he guessed it where I worked. But their culture is customer comes first. So like literally if you're buying a vehicle and you're already in that process, you've done picked your vehicle, it's in your cart, you are ready to buy it, then that casework for your car comes to me, and I review all documentations that's submitted. So because it's buying a car online, you submit all your informations for them to verify online. So like your pay stub, your address, your driver's license, all those things you submit through a secure channel that we get. We overlook all the documentations. We make sure that there's no fraud being committed, that there's not identity theft or any of that stuff. And then if we give the go, no go, if we give the go and you're green lighted, well, then you pretty much have a day that either the car is going to be delivered directly to your house or to the address that you provided for us to drop the vehicle off to. Or if you live within range of one of our vending machines, yes, that vending machines that you see on their commercials, that's a real thing. You get a coin given to you, a coin that you put into the slot, and then your car gets dispensed from that giant ass vending machine. It really does. It's not there for show. But yeah, that's what I do. And there is no time limit. If there's like a big issue, like say, you don't want to finance through Carvana, you want to finance through your bank. We do allow third-party financing options through your bank. We would just have to work with your bank on it. And let's say like, you submitted in your address verification, you submitted in your copy of your driver's license, you submitted in, your income to verify your income. And we've already done verify with your bank that you have the funds for the down payment. Yeah. If the bank is taking its time to cut the check to pay for your car so you can get it, we'll be on the phone. We'll be on the phone with you. We'll call you to talk to you to find out what's going on with it. We'll three-way call your bank and stay on the phone with you and talk to them. And shout out to Gene for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Appreciate it. But we'll be with you every step of the way. The idea of this company is to sell cars, but not the way that car dealerships do it. There is no haggling. There is no negotiations. The sticker price that you see on the website is a competitive price that beats out most major dealerships all across the United States. So you're already getting the lowest price for that vehicle. All vehicles sold through them, and I know I sound like that I'm advertising for them, but this is what we do. All vehicles sold through them Yes, there are used vehicles that are sold. They've never been in an accident because you get the Carfax on it. We will never sell a vehicle that has been in an accident ever on our site, and we will never sell a resold used vehicle on our site. So it's like it's got to have one previous owner, and that's it. If it has like three previous owners, no. And we don't sell cars that's 10 years old or older, right? But those are the things that I do. I mean, that's the company I work for. I verify documentations. I look for fraud. I look for identity theft. That's what I do. It pays very damn good. And besides the pay, the culture is amazing. They take care of their people. I'm like against my diet. No, not really. So they have a break room area that's full of snacks that you could just grab your snack and eat. Doesn't cost you nothing. They don't take nothing out of your check. I've probably eaten like 5 of those small bags of beef jerky because I beef jerky is like one of my favorite snacks. That um, crab rolls, like imitation, the imitation crabs. It's not real crab. It's made out of a different fish meat. But yeah, I like those to snack on and things like that. So they have that stuff there. They have Arizona green tea, which is like my favorite drink. I actually have 2 bottles from work in my backpack. Like so, but anyways, yeah, they got those. Like they got a water dispensing machine that has flavor mixing, so you can make flavored water. If you're trying to stay off soda and juice and all that other stuff, you can still have flavored water. They got some great flavors. They have all types of good stuff. I mean, as a matter of fact, yesterday I had to haul a computer home because they were like, they don't know, just in case if they ever go back to like remote working completely, we're already prepared. Like they provided me all my equipment, 2 monitors, computer, and then my Chromebook. We use a Chromebook as our actually main computer source to do our work. They're trying to get you to be healthy. Yeah, they embrace it. Like today, out of nowhere, our coach in training, like he wanted to get to know a little bit more about us. So like on my live streams where you saw me, where I was by the lake, sitting on the hill, the grassy hill, we actually went out there today. We went out there just to talk as a team, just to get to know each other, just to share a little bit about each other. And it was great. We got to share about what our ambitions are of the job. Where do we want to be 6 months from now? And then the reason I say 6 months is because if you do your work and you network, that's the 2 things that's required for you to promote. It's not about you have to be at the company for 5 years to promote. It's not about you have to kiss so-and-so's ass to promote. No, but you do have to network. People do have to know who you are. They embody and embrace this. When you come to work, when you're in the elevator going up to the floor that you work at, even if you don't know the person in there, say good morning to them. Strike up a conversation out of thin air. They want people to talk and to have this chipper day that makes everybody happy. And it's an amazing place to be. It really is. If you have, that company in your city, their call center, because there's several cities that are the same department as me. And you're looking for work, that's probably going to be it. If you're into call center, if you have call center experience, or even if you don't have call center experience, but if you want to work somewhere where they pretty much are like, just be happy. That's their only demand is be happy and don't be late. That's the thing too, that a lot of people found out this week. It is a great job. You get a lot of good benefits. Your sick time is front loaded when you start. So you have it already. You have all, they take care of you, but they are strict on attendance. You're even 1 second past your 15-minute break. That is an occurrence. And you can rack those up without even knowing it. And there are 3 tiers that you can get moved up to. You get to the 3rd tier and they go with separation. You're done. You're fired. That is the only thing that anyone would consider to be hard. Because especially if you vape or you smoke, you got to go out the building to go to designated areas. You got to beat the mad rush in and out of that building and elevator. So you really got to plan your stuff. Like me, I get a 15-minute break in the morning and the evening. Truth be told, my breaks are only 10 minutes. It takes me 2 minutes to get down from the floor that I'm on and out to the designated area to smoke. So I vape for 8 minutes, to get my dose of nicotine. And then I'm back up. By the time I get to my desk, I have 3 minutes left before my break is over. But that's just my work etiquette. That's just how I think about things. Like I want to be on time. I want to be, because I'm asking already, like, what they do to train, that's what I eventually want to do at one point. I want to move into the training aspect of it and train people coming in. So, but I mean, you can move all over the place. Right now, they're hiring for their IT team and tech to pretty much help them with the website. I can go there, or I can stay where I'm presently at. Um, yeah, it's a good job. So that's where I'm working now. PetSmart was great, good people there, but just had bad practices. I know it's getting dark, getting really dark. The light is on. Then that light will turn off after a while, though. But anyways, tomorrow is WrestleMania. I think tonight, tonight is the Hall of Fame in wrestling. I watch wrestling, I do. But yeah, it's gonna be the Hall of Fame tonight, and tomorrow's WrestleMania Part 1. Sunday is WrestleMania Part 2. I don't know why they do it in 2 days. It's weird, but I'm gonna be watching it tomorrow. When the missus gets off work tonight, I gotta go pick up my brother and take him home because he, his bike broke, so he needs to ride home. So we gotta go do that, and yeah, just hang out with my kids. My friend is going to it in Dallas, Texas. I think somewhere close by. Oh yeah. Yeah, wrestling. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, that's what I have. I have a subscription to Peacock also, Gene. That's what I'm gonna watch it on. Who do you think is gonna walk out with both titles? Do you think that the Golden Boy Roman Reigns is gonna get put over by Brock Lesnar and get the Universal and the WWE title and unify them? Or do you think that Vince is going to cater to Brock Lesnar and put the Universal title on him? That's option 2. Or do you think something is going to happen in their match that completely makes it a draw where neither title is lost to the other? Roman will get both? Okay. I think something's going to happen that neither of them are going to lose their titles. And here's my reason why I think that. Roman Reigns is the golden boy, and Vince is going to do everything to make that man happy because he feels like that he can replicate The Rock in Roman because they're family. Although fans don't take to Roman the same way as they took to The Rock. Fans love Roman right now because, he's a heel. He's a bad guy. The ref will get the titles. But Brock Lesnar attracts too much, especially now that he's a face. He's fan loved. He's joking around. He's funny. I mean, the shit that he did to Sami Zayn was just funny as hell. But fans like this side of Brock Lesnar. And so they're not going to want to see Brock drop the belt. And that would be typical WWE move where like Brock Lesnar's like this destroyer when he's evil and he's with Paul Heyman. But now that he's loved by the fans, he's like completely weak. He's a cream puff marshmallow, like that does not make sense. Hello to you, Johnny. You think the Mysterios will dominate? Brock sucks. Sorry for that word. No, you don't have to apologize for the word. I mean, I see a lot of people disliking Brock Lesnar because he worked really hard to be hated by fans. Truth be told, the way people perceive Brock Lesnar in WWE, on a personal side, he's nothing like that. He's actually a really, really cool person. It's just people have ways of just like not respecting people's space, Like Brock and Sable do not want to get slammed by fans of Brock asking for autographs when they're out on their night out as for dinner, right? I mean, they're married. Brock married Sable, and they're still together, I believe. And yeah. So who wants to be bothered while they're trying to have a romantic dinner? So there are lines that you don't cross Brock Lesnar, but as far as like people thinking like he's not a very nice guy, he's not approachable, he is. You just got to get him at the right time. But there's not much that Brock can do. A lot of people are like, oh, all he does is suplexes and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, he can't do submission holds. Like, he had to fudge the Kimura lock to make it look like he broke people's arms. But Brock being trained, when he trained for MMA and he was fighting in UFC, he's a really strong dude. For him to be doing like ground technician moves, like like locks and holds and even submissions, is kind of dangerous to other wrestlers. So the only thing that he can do is powerhouse moves like belly to back suplex or belly to belly suplex or um, suplex. The different variations of it. The T-bone plex. He can only do like throw moves and shit like that. He can't really do technical ground moves like Bret Hart can. He can't be a Bret Hart. Yeah, it's on at a weird time because the Hall of Fame is tonight. So Undertaker's gonna get his Hall of Fame ring. Speaking of legends, do you think that it's just gonna be some small ass segment where Stone Cold stuns Kevin Owens and then drinks a bunch of beer? Or do you think that we will see a brawl between Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin? I'm hoping for option 2, and Vince better not make like Stone Cold, put Kevin Owens over. I like Kevin Owens. I think KO's great. I like his attitude. I prefer him better as a heel than a face. But I don't think he's earned the right to be put over by Stone Cold. A lot of people think he's going to because he started using the stunner, and that's like paying homage to Stone Cold, and they think like the best way to put Kevin Owens over is to have him defeat, Austin in a match. And I know that Austin's older. I know that, he still kind of keeps in shape, but he's not in the same shape he was in the Attitude Era, and that's obviously age. I mean, for anybody that doesn't follow these things, watch The Undertaker's interview about how hard it was for him to stay in shape. The older you get, the harder it is to keep your muscle mass the way you had it when you were younger, right? That's why people were wondering what the hell happened to The Undertaker's chest. Like, he used to be kind of bulked up when he was younger, and right before he started having his matches with Triple H to end the era, they were like, wow, his pectoral muscles are really wide apart. Well, yeah, he's old. He's not gonna maintain the same body mass as he did when he was younger. Oh yeah, yeah. It is very sad that we don't have the Undertaker anymore. Like, he really did own the dark side of WWE. Like, he scared me the first time I saw him when he came at Survivor Series. He scared the living Jesus out of me. Um, you know, Thanks for the live stream. It was an awesome topic tonight. No problem, bro. Glad you came in and stopped by for a little bit. Again, thanks. Shout out to everyone for the 6 likes tonight. I appreciate it. I know I don't stream a lot, so to see y'all in here watching this live stream and dropping likes, I really appreciate it. And again, thank you to Gene for the super chat. Appreciate that. I'll give that to my kids. But the one person that I honestly think that Vince McMahon fucked up on, and for those who watch wrestling, if you guys want me to do a live stream dedicated to talking about wrestling, let me know and I'll do something like that. But for me, I feel like Vince dropped the ball by letting what's his name, Wyndham Rotunda go. Well, both Wyndham and his brother Taylor, their stage names on WWE was Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are the sons of Erwin R. Shyster, who was known as IRS back in the mid 90s of WWE. His real name is Mike Rotunda. But Bray Wyatt is his son, and so is Bo Dallas. I know that Bray Wyatt, the guy known as Eric Rowan, but they call him Eric the Red now, and Braun Strowman, who's known as the Titan, along with Killer Cross, they're going to MCW. I've been watching Bray Wyatt's videos on YouTube where he's dropping little messages, little hints, and he did say that they found a home in MCW, which is an independent wrestling league. and they are coming. I don't know if they're going to be called the Cult of Wyndham. I don't know what they're going to call themselves, but you know, uh, Wyndham Rotunda basically keeping to that theme of the Fiend, and that's just because the Fiend was his idea. I know that Wyndham Rotunda was in legal battles with Vince McMahon over the rights to the Fiend slash Bray Wyatt. Um, it was Wyndham who actually went to the same guy who creates the mask for the members of Slipknot. He made that mask for Wyndham. Wyndham designed it. And if people don't remember, there was an old. You can look it up on YouTube and watch it. It's on WWE's YouTube channel, but it's when superstars tell scary stories, and there's one for Bray Wyatt. So just put WWE Bray Wyatt tells scary story, and listen to that scary story where he talks about when oh, the light went out again. But when he went to live in Sister Abigail's compound. Okay, everything shut off again. But he told the story about the man. Well, he said Sister Abigail told him the story about the man in the woods. And sorry, different topic. Are you going to see the new Dragon Ball Z movie? It's not here yet in the U.S. Um, I might. I'm a little bit. I don't know. I'll see because I know my son wants to watch it. I'll probably go watch it with him, for sure. A movie I'm looking to, and I'll go into movies here in a little bit. But there's a movie I'm looking forward to watching. But I'll share that with you guys. I'm gonna wrap up this whole wrestling talk thing. But yeah, Bray Wyatt talks about the man in the woods, how he had yellow stringy hair, pale face, and everything like that. So it's kind of cool how Bray Wyatt is very good at character development, because then he decided to create the Fiend and build this Mister Rogers psycho, kid show host. Bray Wyatt when he's like all chipper and happy in his little Firefly funhouse, and then when the Fiend comes out, he's demonic, psychotic, and full of rage, and let him in. Goes by the moniker Hurt and Heal. So Vince dropped the ball because Bray could have definitely carried on the torch from the Undertaker and been the one character that scares WWE fans. That would have been amazing. But yeah, I'm watching WrestleMania tomorrow. I'm kind of happy about it. Now, as far as movies, there's a movie that I want to see, Morbius. I want to see Morbius. I want to know what universe he's part of. I'm seeing all kinds of videos talking about it because in Spain, they're going to premiere the movie. In several other countries, they've already premiered the movie. So there's people who have seen the movie before it's even out here yet. And there are a lot of people saying it's really good. But I want to know what Spider-Man universe does Morbius take place in? Is he in the Spectacular Spider-Man? Not Spectacular. Amazing Spider-Man's universe? Is he in Sam Raimi's, Spider-Man universe? Or is he in the Tom Holland one? A lot of people believe that he's actually in the Amazing Spider-Man's universe because Venom, Tom Hardy's Venom, is from the Amazing Spider-Man. So technically, that Venom, who is a hero, in San Francisco, that Venom is in, what the hell's his name? Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe. So during the whole time where, Spider-Man No Way Home, if you guys caught the ending credit, you guys saw that Venom was in the bar drinking, and he was like, the news was talking about Spider-Man. He was talking to the bartender. So then he got pulled back to his own dimension, right? Or his own universe. But a piece of Venom's symbiote stayed in Tom Holland's Spider-Man's universe. And if you watch the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage, there was a point where Venom was talking to Eddie Brock, and he tells him that there are more than one dimension and that he can show him. And then that's when the whole hotel room they were staying in converted into like a more luxurious hotel. And Eddie Brock was just tripping out because he was in Tom Holland's universe where the Avengers are there, where, Oscorp is not a thing, but Stark Industries is. So yeah, that Venom is from Amazing Spider-Man's universe, and we're wondering if Morbius is. Have you seen Disney introduce new Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yeah, yeah, I've been following that. I am going to watch it. Only because it's going to tell certain aspects that people need to understand about Obi-Wan before watching the original trilogy. A lot of people, want to know, like, how did Obi-Wan stay hidden for so many years? Now we're going to get the story of how he, was able to hide, because during the time of Obi-Wan on Tatooine, where this series takes place, Order 66 is still happening. Every Jedi in the galaxy is being hunted down and killed. They have Inquisitors that are hunting for any remaining Jedi or anyone who is Force sensitive that is leaning light side. So, you may not have trained to be a Jedi, but you may be pure of heart, you may be a good person. They would slay you. Yeah, the original Star Wars movies is always going to be on top. I don't care what anyone says. The original trilogy is going to be on top. I know people didn't like the prequels, and I can see why, but the prequels is made to be before the trilogy. So a lot of the things in the prequel is not going to emulate everything that we saw in the original trilogy, because you got to think there was a huge time gap between where Anakin was left to die on Mustafar to the point where Obi-Wan and Vader meet again in a final confrontation, where Obi-Wan's able to use a technique that was taught to him from Qui-Gon Jinn and basically just become one with the Force. Interesting thing is that Qui-Gon Jinn didn't fully master that technique. He was only able to commune with Obi-Wan by voice, but he was never able to project his Force ghost. That is canon. Now, of course, Disney and them can change that if they want to, but that is canon at this time. So Obi-Wan can have his Force ghost appear, so can Anakin, so can Yoda. But Qui-Gon, not able to. He can only appear as voice. The same way as every Jedi came as a voice to Rey, which I still think the ending of Rise of Skywalker would have been much better at the end, where Rey is reaching out to the Jedi and they all start speaking to her. It would have been great. They don't have to make a Force ghost of each one of them, but they could have done like a dramatic, like ghost headshot of them in order of who's speaking. And what doesn't make sense to me is that you have young Obi-Wan speaking and you have older Obi-Wan speaking. Why would there be two different versions of Obi-Wan as Force Ghost? That don't make sense. Makes absolutely no sense. To me, that's like, why? It's trash. But they did. They had, but I mean, it was good. It was good to hear Christian Hayden's voice, reprising his role as Anakin, and he was speaking to Rey. Mace Windu spoke to Rey. Yoda did. Who else? Obi-Wan did. Luke did. Leia did. Like, they all spoke to her. It was great. It was absolutely great. The one thing that I like, I said is just there shouldn't have been an older Obi-Wan and younger Obi-Wan voice. They should have just had the younger one. And they should have shown visuals so people knew who was speaking. Alec Guinness played Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original one. Yeah, he did. I haven't watched the Book of Boba Fett. I haven't watched that one yet. I am going to start watching them probably this summer. Like, I gap myself because I still want something to look forward to. Ever since we've had the ability to control our television watching, we binge watch the shit out of everything that nothing lasts. So I'm trying to space it out. Like, I am waiting for Stranger Things, the next season, to come out because I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I'm waiting for that one. I am definitely waiting for Cobra Kai season 5. Holy shit. Has anyone seen the ending of season 4? In your opinion, Disney ruined Star Wars. George Lucas wouldn't have. Yeah, I agree with you there. I do agree that Disney ruined Star Wars. It's the reason why that George Lucas had to come on as a consultant for the Rise of Skywalker. Fun fact: if people didn't know that, so the Force Awakens, Disney kind of like, yeah, because it really just felt like that it was a repeated cycle of Luke, right? You know, um, instead of being on Tatooine, where was Ray at? I forgot what planet she was on. If someone knows the name of the planet, say it because I forgot it. But I mean, yeah, it was like a repeat. And then you have um, the Last Jedi, which I guess was supposed to emulate the Return of the Jedi because Luke faced his nephew, but not really. And people need to stop arguing at this point. At the end of the Last Jedi, when Luke faced Kylo Ren, he wasn't there as a Force ghost. He was there as a Force projection. It's the reason why he was more visible to Kylo Ren, nearly perfecting the imagery of a real human body there. But he wasn't. And it took every bit of, like, if you want to call it life force or life energy, it took every bit of Luke's last energy he had left to do that, to save his sister, to save Finn, to save Poe Dameron, to save all of them, to save the Resistance. It took the last of his energy to do it. So that's why after he was done, we saw him basically fade into life the same way Obi-Wan did after looking at the two suns setting. Yeah, he did because of how they portrayed. Look, Mark Hamill, I will say this, and it's probably an unpopular opinion, but Mark Hamill needs to get off his high horse sometimes. Okay? I get the fact that he's upset what they did to Luke, but they wrote the story to be that way. They needed to come with an explanation of why Luke wasn't found. Okay? Because he went looking for the original Jedi teachings. He got those books from the original Jedi teachings. He learned the true purpose of the Jedi and realized that what the Jedi Council that was there during the time of his father were basically breaking all the rules of the Jedi. The Jedi were not supposed to be involved in war. They were not supposed to use their power in war. If you go back to the prequel trilogies, Jedi members were named generals. General Kenobi, General Yoda. They were given a status of general in a clone army. They should never have been involved with. The Jedi do not interfere in war. They will protect the innocent, but they're not supposed to take sides in war. And so Luke knew that. But for Luke to hide himself, because one, Luke is a very powerful Jedi. Okay? How would he have hid himself? And the reason why I'm going to that talking point is because, like, the difference between Luke and Yoda. Yoda hid his, I guess you could say, his Force energy because he was hiding on Dagobah, which is a Sith planet. It had dark energy in there. So I guess the dark side energy on Dagobah basically clouded and camouflaged Yoda's ability. Plus, Yoda was so powerful, he was able to nearly detach himself from the Force without fully detaching himself. So, yeah, Luke. No, Luke was on a different planet, at one of the old Jedi temples, and there would be no way for him. Luke was not as powerful as Yoda. There's no way for Luke to hide, his Force energy unless he separated himself from the Force. That's the only way you wouldn't feel him. The way that they can seek each other out is by feeling, right? That's why they always use that terminology, search your feelings, right? So if I was Force sensitive and Gene was Force sensitive, if I truly focused myself on the Force, I would be able to feel Gene's living Force as if it was like right in front of me, or if he was very far away, maybe like across the street from me. but I would be able to feel it. And that's what Luke had to do. Mark Hamill didn't like the fact that they detached Luke from the Force. He wanted him to be the Jedi savior. But in this trilogy, they had it in them to try and introduce new characters for younger fans to continue on following the Star Wars line. They didn't want to do a repetitious thing of always putting Luke back in the spotlight. I mean, you look right now, because fans were upset with the latest trilogy, that in The Mandalorian, they obviously knew Luke was alive around that timeline because The Mandalorian takes place after episode 6 and before episode 7. So they wrote Luke back in. They have a body double playing Luke. They deep fake Luke's face, so that way it's Mark Hamill's younger face, so looks like Luke. Um, but yeah, Luke can't be the holy savior in anything. I am open to the fact of introducing new characters. Like at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, when they showed the boy who was force sensitive that was on that casino planet, and he used the force to make the broom come to his hand. Like, I would love to see a story told about him. Now, I know people don't like the new trilogy, and there was lots of things about it I didn't like. And at least for me, the things I didn't like was that it copied from Legends. It copied a lot from Legends and then twisted Legends into something really weird. Like, if anyone's read Star Wars Legends, you guys know about Darth Kaitis. Darth Kaitis is Jason Solo. So that's Han and Leia's son. Jason Solo had a twin sister named Jaina. They had a younger brother named Anakin. Han and Leia named their youngest son after Leia's father. So Anakin Solo, Jason Solo, and Jaina Solo. Then on Luke's side, Luke did marry. He had a wife, they had a child, and he named his son Ben Skywalker. So they took the character of Ben Skywalker from Legends, and they took the character of Jason Solo, aka Darth Kaitis, and they put them together. Because in Legends, the reason why Jason Solo went to the dark side was Luke started having nightmares of Darth Vader's return. And he started acting all weird, like how he did in the new trilogy, when he told his story in The Last Jedi, almost similar. Except Jason Solo, when they had the war with the Yuuzhan Vong, and Jason Solo met one of Darth Vader's apprentices, she explained things to him and who his grandfather was. Because Luke made the terrible mistake in Legends to hide the fact that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader. So Jason Solo, Jaina Solo, Anakin Solo, and Ben Skywalker had no idea that their grandfather was Darth Vader. What's up, Mark? What's going on? George should have never changed the script. Or Jar Jar, really? But yeah, so what they did, I believe it was J.J. Abrams and them, and the writers, what they did was they took Star Wars Legends and they completely flipped it. And they merged Jason Solo and Ben Skywalker as one character. And it's just funny that the character's name is Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren, where they wanted to bring in the Knights of Ren. And that Ren is a title. And because everyone was like all kind of like weirded out. Kylo is a given name. Ren is a title. Just like with the Sith, Darth is a title, and then there's a given name, like, like Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, my favorite, Darth Nihilus. Darth Nihilus and Darth Revan are my favorite. Darth Nihilus is my favorite because he's like a vampire. He has the ability to like suck the life force out of you. And he actually, that's what caused him to be that way. He craved life force so much that he would just constantly suck the life force out of people. And eventually they said that under his cloak, his body was nearly invisible. I think Disney ruined Star Wars beyond repair. I think what they're doing right now with all these side stories, like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think those will kind of carry it on. I don't see it unless they do something, but then again, time's going away. The characters are becoming forgettable. Like, I don't see a lot of people talking about FN2187, aka Finn. I don't see a lot of people talking about, Poe Dameron. I don't see a lot of people talking about Rey, Rey Skywalker, as now she's taking the name Skywalker, even though that she's a Palpatine. And at the same time too, technically, they're all one big family. The Palpatines and the Skywalkers are one big family. If people don't think like, okay, so if everyone's watched the prequel trilogies, you guys know about how Darth Sidious was telling Anakin at that opera thing that his master Darth Plagueis learned how to manipulate, like to cheat death, keep people that he loved from dying. Means that Darth Plagueis, with Sith alchemy, was able to figure out how to keep people alive and also to create life. People believe that Darth Sidious, when he slayed his master, he learned a bit of Sith alchemy, and he created life using the Force. However, there's always balance in the Force to begin with. And so while Darth Sidious thought he was creating life to be the most perfect Sith, the Force did otherwise, impregnating a woman with a child who had a huge amount of midichlorians, and the child's fate was not decided. He could go dark side. He could go light side. He can go gray side. There are gray Jedi. There is a gray area in all this. They could have did all that. How about more people's further back? You could. I mean, they could actually make the movies based on, Knights of the Old Republic. They could go on that. They could. There's so many directions they could go. They could talk about Darth Bane. They could create a movie telling us how the Sith adopted the rule of two. Because before Darth Bane, the rule of two didn't exist. There was like one Sith Lord and a bunch of Sith apprentices. Of course, they were known to kill each other. But Darth Bane created the rule of two. We could talk about. I mean, not talk about. We can get a movie about Darth Malgus. More in depth. I mean, I remember a lot of people downloaded photos and they're like, "Yo, this is Darth Vader without his helmet on," and it's like, no, that's Darth Malgus. Like he had a breathing apparatus too, but he didn't have full head cover. He just had the breathing apparatus because of the injuries that he took. But Darth Malgus was like, he was freaking brutal. He was brutal as hell. Easily in my top 10, like, darkest Sith Lords ever. He's in my top 10. Darth Sidious still holds #1 position because Darth Sidious, for pure pleasure and fun, he mind wiped an entire planet, so they forgot what the name of the planet was and what alien race they were. Like, they had no idea what the hell they were. And he did that for fun. Read it. There's lots of Star Wars novels. I forgot. If I find it, I'll tell you what the name of the book is. But Darth Sidious mind wiped an entire fucking planet as a funny joke. He was done writing for Star Wars. He was done creating the stories. And Disney promised him that they would go by what he would have done. So he trusted him and he sold Star Wars to them. And they thought they knew what George Lucas would do, and then they totally screwed the pooch because they had no idea what George Lucas would have done. The only saving grace of the most recent trilogy was that George Lucas was special counsel to create The Rise of Skywalker. And you can see certain aspects where George Lucas had a touch in guiding them on how to do things. Like, character development of how Sidious was alive. Tying it all together that Supreme Leader Snoke was just a, 62% clone created vessel for Sidious, and he was just a puppet. Sidious was controlling Snoke the entire time. Luke succumbing to fear and hiding himself from the Force, detaching himself from it. Rey being Force sensitive without even knowing it, and being really powerful in the Force, coming to find out that her grandfather was Emperor Palpatine, and that she is a Palpatine. So it's not really so much of like the Skywalkers, who's more stronger, the Skywalkers or the Palpatines. Technically, the Skywalkers are the Palpatines. Emperor Palpatine created Anakin. Anakin knocked up Padme Amidala, got her pregnant. So it's like, yeah, they're all Palpatines. It's just Sidious, his son and his daughter-in-law and his granddaughter Rey are actual blood created, not force created. The Skywalkers would be force created life from Palpatine. Rey would be blood created life from Palpatine. Oh yeah, he'll probably relinquish creative control. I mean, for billions, 4 billion wouldn't. Yeah. I just, I understand George Lucas. Like, George Lucas is done. When you create something amazing and you put everything into it, eventually you're like, okay, I've done my part. I've done the best. This is the best, and this is my legacy. George Lucas knows real, true, diehard fans will always consider A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi as the original trilogy. If you are a straight Star Wars fanatic, a Star Wars fan, you don't refer to them as episodes 4, 5, and 6. You address them by their original given title: The New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. And even though there's episodes 1, 2, and 3, I tend to go onto them as what they are: The Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith. No, because they talked a good game. They really talked a good game about doing right by Lucasfilms and doing right by Star Wars. They said that, they told him they want to make another trilogy. He was okay with another trilogy being made. They pitched the idea. He was good with it. He was like, okay. When he saw the execution of The Force Awakens, that was like, because they didn't do anything original, right? If you look at the prequels, the one thing that the prequels have over the third trilogy is that the prequels really they kind of gave it its own, right? Like, people would be like, oh, the prequels copied the first one because Anakin was in the desert and he was on Tatooine and Luke was on Tatooine. But of course, dummy, Anakin comes from Tatooine, so why wouldn't he be there to begin with? What were they going to do? Put him on another planet? Put him on Alderaan? Like, he had to be on Tatooine. So yeah, of course, Luke's story emulates his father's story. We got to remember the prequels is about Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and where their friendship and brotherhood split. I remember in theaters, people were pissed off because, Anakin force choked Padme, and then completely just turned his back on Obi-Wan and was like, if you're not with me, you're my enemy. Everyone was like, this sucks. It had to. You knew it had to. You can't watch Revenge of the Sith and say, maybe Anakin's going to be the hero there. You have to know he's going to be Darth Vader, because that's how the original trilogy started, with Darth Vader chasing Princess Leia's ship to try to get what was stolen, which we found out in Rogue One of Star Wars stories about how the Resistance got the plans for the Death Star. It was stolen, and a sacrifice was made to get that information to Princess Leia, and how the Resistance was able to combat the Empire. So, yeah, I just thought it was fun. It was mind-boggling how people were just like, oh, this sucked. Anakin became Darth Vader. Who the hell else was going to become Darth Vader? It had to be Luke's dad. And we know that Anakin's Luke's dad because Padme gave birth to both her kids before she just let her life go. Half of the Death Star. Yeah, they got half. Half of the Death Star was built. Well, no. They got the Death Star plans, so they knew where the weakness was going to be. The first Death Star was operational and was built. It was the second Death Star that was halfway built, but was operational. They tricked the Resistance to think it wasn't operational until the final stand happened in Return of the Jedi, and that's where Sidious revealed to the Resistance that the Death Star was fully operational. At least its primary weapons was. The Star Killer, the Planet Killer cannon was active, and they were getting ready to fire upon the Resistance. So yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, people are just weird. Chewbacca's awesome. I would really love a Chewbacca origin story, like a movie dedicated to the Wookiees. That would be so cool. Um, we got a origin story for Solo, for Han Solo, Solo, a Star Wars story. Um, I know that I know that the original trilogy is based on Luke's becoming of a Jedi, but I do think they can make Luke a Star Wars story if they wanted to, because there is a good gap between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We know that Luke goes back to train with Yoda on Dagobah, and then he appears in Return of the Jedi in black cloaking instead of the traditional Jedi cloaking, and he was going to save Han from Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, no, they can actually just voice. Chewbacca has to be the easiest character to voice replicate. They can have somebody else don the costume and play Chewbacca, and the voice. All they gotta do is just take audio from all the original movies that the original actor was, that did the voice, or whatever program they used to do the voice, and just replicate the voice. So it wouldn't be too hard. He fought. As a matter of fact, Luke had a confrontation with Darth Vader before The Empire Strikes Back. Um, I forgot what story it was. They didn't really have much of a battle, but they did cross paths, and they did have a small lightsaber duel, but it didn't go very long. I forgot what the hell they were doing, but they narrowly escaped Vader. So then they considered that the first confrontation would be Empire Strikes Back, where the Mandela effect happens. If you guys don't know what that is, so everyone, including myself, always believed that in that scene, that Darth Vader said, "Luke, I am your father." But if you actually go back and watch that movie, if you think that's what he said, you'll be shocked to find out he didn't say that. It's actually, he says, "No, I am your father." But everyone goes, "Luke, I am your father," and they say it's a Mandela effect because people swear up and down that it was, you know, "Luke, I am your father," but it's no, I am your father. Yeah, there's other things to look at that are considered the Mandela effect, like the children's book, the Bernstein Bears, the way it's spelt. A lot of people think it's spelt one way when it's actually spelt another way. The creator of the Peanuts gang and Snoopy, um, the last name, everyone thought the last name was Schultz. It's actually Scholes. There's no T in it, but a lot of us thought there was, and that it was pronounced Schultz. So I mean, those are just some of the craziest things ever. I look up crazy stuff online and was reading up on the Mandela effect and stuff like that, and I'm just like, whoa, you know. Anyway, guys, I've been live for an hour and 18 minutes. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Gene, thank you so much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Mark, thanks for coming in and hanging out on this live stream. You too as well, Gene. Blaze, thanks for coming in too as well. Yeah, thank you guys for listening to me, brag about my new job. But it's actually, I'm just really happy where I'm working right now. And I am transparent with all of you and like to share things that I go through. So as I'm growing in life, you guys are growing with me. You guys are pretty much like knowing a portion of my life, and you guys have grown with me to it. August, I want to do I'm not gonna say 24 hours. I'm gonna hype it up like that, but I do want to do a several hour live stream and have people come on. It's gonna be for my birthday where I turned a big 40 years old. So I'll post weeks in advance when that live stream is gonna go down, and then I will send out invites to have people come on and just hang out with me on the live stream. So that's gonna happen in August. Again, link in the description to join my Slack channel. As I said, I use Slack at work, so I'm able to chit chat while I'm at work. And if it's tech questions, just put them in the appropriate area. There's link in the description. I posted the link to Slack. Oh, you want in on the live stream, you mean? I'll bring you on, man. I'll tell you when that happens. It's going to be in August, so it's a good amount of time away. As I turn 40 in August, the big 40. Um, so yeah. Anyways, thank you guys. You guys be cool, be safe. Remember, y'all are amazing to me. I love y'all very much. You guys are my YouTube family. So be safe out there, okay? And yeah, aloha.